Hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. I think we are live from Panama City Beach in my Airbnb studio. How's everybody doing? We, hey, Miss Shelley Ross. We are streaming live. It looks good. So we're keeping up with tradition. All four storms now that have been formed in the Atlantic, I have been out of town. Most of them have been softball weekends. So, staying true to tradition, we have something to talk about. What was that old Bonnie Raitt song, right? Bonnie Raitt or something? Let's give them something to talk about. So yeah, we have Invest 95 out there. We'll get into all that here in a minute. Tropics are slowly waking up. Good morning, Miss Brian Morris, KDK. Happy Friday. Rhonda, what's up? Sue Thomas from PA. You know where Warren, Pennsylvania is? My aunt lives up there. That's kind of south central PA. Kelvin Gomez, good morning. These are all YouTube folks. We're going to pop over to Facebook in a second. Hello, Miss Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We should be streaming on all three. So, I'm going to say hello. Posted a heat map this morning. I'm going to stop posting heat maps. Haters come out. All I was saying, it was hot. 110 heat index is hot. I know it's July, but it's not normal. It's happens, but it's weather. Just like hurricanes happen and tornadoes. It's hot. And our girls have to play 4 games today if they're going to continue on in the championship. So our advantage today is going to be Florida girls playing, what's our first team, Illinois? Maybe the Illinois girls are not used to 110 degree plus heat indexes. And our girls are going to have an unfair advantage living in Florida. That's our only hope. This is Hunter, by the way. We'll just let him do the show. I know it's hot. I'm not political. God, everything turns political nowadays. Jeez, I just like to talk weather and drink beer and hang out at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. All right, so a few more minutes, we'll get into it. This is our daily brew show. We were live 3 days this week, pretty good. We're back to normal next week, all 5 days next week. So I don't think I got any really big long trips planned. I've got a couple little things coming up here and there, but not long. This is our big summer week away softball here in Panama City Beach, and it's hot, but it's great. Mr. Mayor Mark Sheldon, good friend of mine, Publix brand new softball fields up here. Sponsored by Publix Supermarkets. Beautiful fields, beautiful area. Highly recommend Panama City Beach. So, cheers to that. Oh, I don't have anything on this cup. I thought we were at home. This is a cup that was in the cupboard. There's nothing on it. I'm glad there's nothing on it. It could have been something offensive, and I'd be in trouble. I didn't even look at it. Holy cow! I could have just put something up there that might have got me in trouble. But anyway, big thanks to all of our supporters, especially ABC there for helping all we do. All right, here's the map. Morning, Mr. Jason. What's up, Stephanie Stokes? Now, Stephanie, you're a local. It's hot, right? I mean, come on, it's hot. I know it's summer. Hank Williams Jr. That hot old summer sun makes you beg for your next breath. Sitting on a creek bay laid in the shade. Ruth, I like your poem. A mic goes the way the tropics will play. This is no joke. Years ago, I didn't even have a mobile setup. Now I got 2 monitors. I got to get a little more fancy with the music and stuff, but I'm getting pretty good at this mobile stuff. Hopefully one day Emily plays softball in college and we can travel around. God, Jennifer, she is on turf today. What's up with that? We got stuck on the turf fields today. I don't know how they're gonna do it. We gotta play. We gotta win. If we win, we got to play 4 games in a row. That's 5 hours probably of straight softball. What's up, Mr. Eric? Are the Rays ever going to win again, Eric? What's up with the Rays, man? They started out too hot. Oh, Stephanie been trying. Our schedule's so screwed up with softball, Stephanie. But one day, hey Austin, what's up, buddy? How's it going? Daytona's coming up. All right. Okay, so we're going to talk about regular weather. We're going to do all tropics right now. That's kind of what everybody's always excited about when this time of year comes around. Not excited as far as excited, but like anxious, excited. All right, so that wave that we've been watching for a week now is in the middle Atlantic. There you go. It's 40% orange now. That's what that little orange circle means. That little circle box is where the NHC believes it could develop in the next 7 days. So if the box was little, that would mean they would think it might develop in that little area. But that whole orange circle is anywhere that system might develop in the next 7 days. So they bumped it up to 40%. It's called Invest 95. People always ask, why do they call it an Invest? Well, let's go to tropicaltidbits.com. We love Levi. Here's the latest 12Z models. So when a system becomes Invest, basically that's short for investigation. And every season it starts with the first system of the year is Invest 90, and it goes to 99, then it starts back to 90. No really reason why. So we've already had 5 Invests this year, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95 now. So that's all that means. But when it's pegged at Invest, there's a lot of models that run, spaghetti models run. You get a lot of products that run because of that. So there you go. That's why we have an Invest. It means it could be an area that could become Emily. All right, so we got a lot of people watching the Caribbean. This thing's got a big, strong, high-pressure system above it that's driving this thing westward. High pressure, very strong. So timing is still the same. Nothing's changed. Early part of next week, Monday, Tuesday-ish, this thing is on approach. Now, it's a very kind of weak-looking system right now. There's a lot of dry air above it, ingesting some dry air. But and I'll show you some maps. It looks like some of that dry air is starting to outrace it, and it's starting to get a little pocket, maybe a little window of opportunity. And before we go any further, there is a wave behind that's been showing up more frequently after this one. So we're going to focus on 95 right now. So anybody in the islands, timing is going to be this weekend that you need to really start watching because it could be there as early as next Monday. Then it goes west, so we'll see what happens. Models aren't too terribly aggressive with it. I'm going to break down all the models here in a minute. So there you go. Here's another look at it. If you're kind of curious where Florida is, there's Jamaica, there's Caymans. Definitely could be a concern for Jamaica as far as being over top of you this time next week. So the timing is pretty simple here. This is let's just say Monday. Let me get my pointer back up here. So let's say that's Monday. Tuesday-ish, Wednesday-ish, Thursday-ish, Friday. That's kind of how it works, you know. F2 is a 2 month. Everybody pronounce that backwards. All right, so there's that. So it's still several days away. Let's look at some other stuff. All right, here's an overall look at the Atlantic right now. You can kind of see the convection right here. That's where we're looking. Not a lot of convection. There's dry air. You know, there's another look at it. Let's take a look at Weather Nerds and weathernerds.org. Gentleman that owns that site, his name is Matt, and he's got designated floaters, which I have on my site that you can click on. This is your infrared satellite, and it's bubbling. I will say it's bubbling a little bit, so it's hanging on. It's got some convection. I posted a couple days ago. There was a big wave coming off Africa behind it. Some of that juice kind of caught up to it. So there is convection. Starting to show a little sign of spinach. I got this map up. This is the big Knoll School site. Now this is Don up here. Don's not gonna hurt nobody. Don is going to end up between the Azores and race off. So that's Don. This is what it looks like when you get lower level circulation. You can see that right there. There's Don spinning away. Counterclockwise spinach. All right, but then we're going to go down to the intertropics conversion zone. They call that the ITCZ. And there you go. It's got good spinach. It was enough spinach for them to designate this. See, you can see that right there. So there's clear rotation. Not very organized, but, you know, got these strong winds from the north. This is so amazing, this intertropics convergence zone. Winds coming up from the south, and then we got winds kind of like coming in from the north. And what happens is these things start wrapping around. Look at that. It's so beautiful. And we make little low pressure systems. We make little babies. So eventually this thing will naturally want to pull north. Not north. Going west. Eventually this thing's going to want to bump north out of this, because once the system becomes organized, it breaks away, starts to do its natural pull north. But we have a high pressure to the north, so it's pretty much just going to go that way for now. Interesting, right? So there you go. It's got spinach, looking pretty healthy there. Here's a good map I wanted to show too. This is your current look at dusty, dry air. It's a combination of dry air and Saharan air layer dust from the deserts of Africa. And if you notice two things. One, here is the pointer works sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. Here's our system right here. This is index 95, 95. And then this area here is kind of got my attention, because if you notice, the yellows and the oranges are dry air, dusty dry air. So obviously 95, natural spin pulls in this moisture, or lack of moisture actually, and all this stuff gets ingested, and it kind of inhibits our system, as they say. But the NHC is specifically saying that it could be a tropical depression here in a couple days. So they're realizing that short term it's not looking very probable, but I do believe this dust is going to outrace it. And then we got something back here we're going to watch. It's popping up on the Euro. There's a pocket here of opportunity where the dry air is starting to reduce, and that's normal. Once we get out of July, the dust ends up being less of a big deal, and these big plumes become less and less and less. So, you know, we'll just leave this animation on here. You can see when this animation started, this was the 16th to the 21st. So right here, boom, big plume of dust, which is actually over Florida now. You probably have seen local weather talking about our dust from South Florida. We're going to have Saharan air in the next several days, over the weekend for sure. So for sure you're going to see hazy skies again from all this dust if you're living in the Caribbean, Bahamas, and especially South Florida. But you can see as we get through time here, you know, this is becoming a little less and less. Climatology says dust slows down in July, but again, we're really early to have a system this early in July. You know, you think about it. You know, number one thing I hear people talk about is, "Oh man, season's a bust," because we always start out with one or two systems, then we get a slow July, and everybody's like, "Ah, the season's over." Well, honestly, July is typically pretty dang slow. If you look at climatology here for July, very little activity in the Atlantic for July. So that is not uncommon at all to have a slow July. And in fact, if we look at the last 150 years for first part of July 1st to the 10th here, you know, we can see things slowly starting to pick up, but it really doesn't get going until August. So we really start to see these waves really get going in August, and then we enter September. So July, typically we don't get a lot of action, especially in the Atlantic. So we'll see how that works out for that. All right, so there you go. Meg, hello. Shelly, did you just type my word, ammonationotics? Good morning, Miss Julianne. What's up, Mr. Richard Reamer? Hey, the good news is the water temperatures are kind of back to normal too. So that's good news. So let's close out some windows so I don't lose my Chrome here. So I think I got everything open that I wanted to show. There's that. I kind of left things open. There's the latest tropical tidbits.com models that you can see on Tropical Tidbits, or I have it linked also. You can get to his site right from my site. But you can see that general west track, high pressure to the north. So where are they going to go after that? Well, that's a big question. Let's talk about that. All right, so let's pop up all the models here. Let's just go right here to all the model runs. And again, you know, the heat, I tell you, South Florida rarely gets these extreme heat warnings, 110 plus. So we got a lot of that in Florida today. It's hot. I know it's July, but it's hot. This was an interesting graphic. I don't know if you saw shared, but West Central Florida has not had any rain, and we've had this persistent Gulf high pressure system that's been keeping the rains off the coast. And there's a lot of spots, if you look back at the last post, that are way below normal. In fact, record below normal. Not just you know, like almost below normal, like slowest start ever. So like out of 100 years. Crazy, right? All right, so let's look first at the ensemble map here. The Euro ensemble map is what I like to look at the most. It's the European here. We'll take a look at it. So if you notice the trend, we've been tracking this thing for a week. It seems like 12Z, get a lot of ensembles. 00Z, we don't get hardly any. We're back to having a few. You know, these are all the different members of the Euro. Now there's two schools of thinking. You know, majority of them having it going west. A couple of them are peaking it a little north. So that's definitely, you know, something to kind of, you know, keep open. This fanning effect of a slow general west-northwest motion. You know, in long range, you know, it's starting to pick up the wave behind it. There's a secondary wave that you're going to start to see pop up here. So there's, you know, long range, you know, 10 plus days. There's, you know, there's 10 out of, yeah, I mean, there's quite a few showing something developing. So we'll see, you know. But in the short term, 7 days out, this is pretty much where it's looking at for the next 7 days. You can see that right there. So 7 days from now, this is where it could be, whatever it is. But like we mentioned, Jamaica, Hispaniola, you know, middle part of next week, this is possibly next Friday, where our system might be somewhere, you know, right here. So if you're wondering where it's going to be a week from now, this is where more likely it's going to be. People always worry about time frame. If it turned, let's say, to Florida, because that's a lot of questions I get. Well, let's see. This is next week, Friday. So following weekend, possibly, you know, if this thing was to turn. So 7 days from now, this is pretty much where the models are at. Now, you know, I've never been a big fan of intensity models, but they're, you know, interesting to look at. They seem like but this one's whoops, that's not the right one. It's interesting though to look at. Well, we can go right to his site. So let's go to top. Well, that's not the page I wanted. Let's just open it up into a new window. Open into a new tab. There we go. All right. So these are the latest. These are models. But you know, there's quite a few showing intensification. Now, you know, like I said, these intensity models, I don't know. I see them wrong as much as right. But there you go. You know, we got some keeping it weak. We got some going up to hurricane. So definitely something, you know, keep an eye on. You know, a couple of them we even go to Cat 2 land. As a matter of fact, if one little tidbit here, Tropical Tidbits. One little tidbit, go to Tropical Tidbits. Let me close out these windows, man. This old computer I got here. This old computer. Old computer struggle sometimes. All right, so Levi has the brand new hurricane models for this season. It's called go to hurricane. It's called the HAFS-A and HAFS-B. Now, they've been running these models experimentally now for a while, and the track record has been incredible, apparently. Like, very accurate. Once we get a system too, these models don't run unless there is a investigated system. So I haven't looked at these yet, but anyway, we always used to use HWRF and HMON, the old GFDL. Anyway, HWRF and HMON, but now that this HAFS A and B are going to become the new hurricane models. So we got them all to look at. But let's take a look at the new HAFS. Now we have Invest 95L. Let's take a look. Let's kind of get an idea what it's thinking. Yeah, slow development. So there's, Barbados. This is next Tuesday, but there's 991. That's possible hurricane. Then it gets down to 980. So there you can see that slow development. So definitely got something to watch in the Lesser Antilles. So let's look at HAFSB. And it's a little weaker going to the islands, 1,003 millibar. Then it develops it past the islands. So interesting. There's two models. This is next Tuesday-ish. And then, little development, 995. A little slower development on that one. Let's take a look at the old HWRF. I like HWRF. I don't know if this is going to be replaced or not, or what the deal is. But there's your HWRF. Right over Barbados is a possible hurricane, 991 millibar, and then it develops at 987. So, we'll see. 3 hurricane-specific models there. They only go out to middle next week, but so definitely, living in the islands down there. Like I said, we got strong high pressure above and long range. Let's take a look at this here. Let's just look at upper 500 millibar. But so talking a lot about that Gulf pressure, the Gulf high pressure system. Next Monday. This is next Monday. So this is your upper level atmosphere. Now, I believe the Euro's probably the best when it comes to upper air predictions. But anyway, there's your big high pressure system. High pressure systems spin clockwise, giving our system really nowhere to go. It's low pressure systems cannot penetrate high pressure systems. I always compare them to magnets, right? You try to put 2 magnets together and they push away. Well, low pressures go around high pressure systems. Usually, high pressure systems stop, and we don't have one in the Gulf, and typically we start to see a curve. Well, the question mark is, this high pressure here, high pressure here. Like, if that Gulf high is strong next week, then it might just keep on going west. That's the reality. So we'll have to keep an eye on, there is a little break showing here, This is next Monday. This is a 6Z. Let's go farther down. That's too far. I need to go farther than Monday. All right, so here's next Monday. Next Wednesday, so there is a little break on Thursday, but then your high pressure system. So here's next Thursday, a week from Thursday. You can still see that high pressure system, keeping this thing chugging west. Maybe a little break. So, So at this point, East Coast states, Bahamas, this thing looks like it's definitely, trucking west for a while. And then eventually will it start to turn? Don't know. We can let's look at some GFS ensembles, even though the main operational on the GFS is not a very good model, but I still like the GFS ensembles. The GFS ensembles give a lot of possibilities. There's 31 different members of the GFS, so even though the main operational run on the GFS is not the greatest, we still can see all the runs and kind of get an idea. So let's pull up Caribbean, maybe that might be a good clear picture. And here's your cyclones. All right, so let's fast forward 5 days. All right, you're starting to see some of the members here 5 days from now. And then you can see the general west-northwest. So not a lot of members, but you can see the general steering trends of the GFS. I did want to show one thing on Shear. So next week, so Monday, let's see here. Let's go to next Wednesday. All right. So next week, if our system is somewhere down here next week, both the GFS and the Euro are showing a lot of western shear. And shear is upper level winds, and hurricane development does not like shear. And typically, we aren't fully in El Nino yet, but typically El Nino years have a lot of wind shear through the Caribbean. That's why usually during El Nino years, there's not a lot of hurricane activity here in the Western Caribbean. But nonetheless, we'll see if there's any wind shear. But the GFS is showing wind shear next Wednesday. And this is sort of kind of where our system could be. So that would help limit development. But as we've seen over the years, long-range shear forecasts are very hard to predict. Not necessarily very trustworthy. So I don't, everything is always about real-time common sense. Biggest thing right now is dry air, precipitable water. You got to have moisture. We're looking at weather nerds here. Let's take a look at the latest water vapor loop. You can see that there's a lot of dry air to the north. So it's going to struggle a little bit. I mean, it's a very odd pattern here. The yellows and oranges are dry air, but, it's got a little moisture. It's bubbling a little bit. So it's trying. It's going to be riding along with this dry air for a few days. And then eventually, the dry air looks to possibly disappear. Let's look at some of the... I don't know. Let's look at precipitable water maps here from the Euro, and we'll get an idea what it thinks as far as moisture goes. I know that this is the amount of moisture in the atmosphere. Now, you can see this way behind it. We're going to be talking about here in a little bit. But here's Monday. There's your moisture. Yeah, it keeps it kind of together. There's a big old ball of moisture next Thursday right here. So, but it keeps it going west. But we're also seeing, ensembles kind of pull it north too. So we're not 100% sold on that west yet. But this one behind it's interesting too. It's really starting to show up on some models. This is your second wave coming off Africa. So this is 95 out in front. Week from today would be right here somewhere south of Caymans, or if it doesn't turn, or if it does turn, let's say next week. This is next Thursday basically right now. So you could kind of like put a window right here next Thursday, depending on where it goes. Majority have it going west, but this would be next Thursday. I took cursive in school, but that's supposed to say Thursday. And then the big guy behind it, holy moly, what's that all about? It's coming. That's been popping up more than once. That little window of opportunity could mean we could have another system brewing after 95, and here it is right there. So Euro a little more aggressive on the system behind 95, but that's a little bump from the CMC Canadian. This is our system behind 95. GFS isn't showing it, but we don't really like the GFS. It's not a really good model. So yeah, I don't know. Other than the hurricane models being pretty aggressive on development, we'll see. They, said that they've been using them and they've been very accurate. So If that's the case, that's a 980 millibar system next Wednesday morning. That could be interesting. We'll see. There's a lot of wind shear out ahead of it to disrupt it. And like I said, there's another system behind it, possibly brewing. So, all right, let me drink some coffee. When's the high going to break up? That's $1 million question because no one knows. Harold, is smoke and dust still colliding? Well, the Canadian dust smoke is kind of gone. But the Saharan dust is definitely coming in. In fact, you can see it here. My Fox Hurricane has a great link here, which I linked to their page. You can click on it, myfoxhurricane.com, and look, that's a lot of smoke. I mean, this is current. Oof. It's a big old blob of African dust. So definitely, I've seen a lot of local news stations talking about this dust has made it all the way to Florida. And there it is through the week. Saturday, it's going to be, look at that. It really is going to go far north on Sunday. This is all the way up to the upper Gulf region. This is Sunday's map. So yeah, the dust is there. David, when does El Nino start? That's a good question too. There was a lot of aggressive forecast, and it's kind of taking its sweet old time. So not quite officially El Nino yet, I don't believe. But the longer that it delays, that means the weaker it might be during peak months, meaning, less effects of an El Nino style hurricane season. Add to water temperatures. I mean, the good news is, at least for South Florida, we're not seeing those ridiculous numbers anymore that we were seeing not too long ago. I had a really good water map somewhere down here. Where did I see that at? Oh man, I can't remember half of my. Got a lot of wave. Man, I cannot remember now where it was at. I got air pollution maps. Darn it. Oh man. Darn it. Anyway, there's a really good water map somewhere. Current heat index leaders. I forgot about this link. Let's see who's winning. Key West, 103 right now. Key West is winning the heat index battle. They've won it the last 7 hours. It's 103 degrees at Key West. Look at it. Oh my God, California yesterday had 118 somewhere. 120 in Texas yesterday. Oof. Winners. All right. All right. Well, anyway, maybe it's over here more. I don't know where the hell it's at. I had a really good water link thing, but I don't know. It's not that important, I guess. Let's see. Maybe it's this one. I haven't shaved in a week, by the way. So, this isn't the one. I don't know. But anyway, those crazy hot weather, hot water maps. Oh, here we go. Daily water temps. Maybe this might be it. NOAA water temps. Here we go. Here we go. I found it. I'm very persistent. This is what I want to look at. You can zoom in on the area. That's what I like to see. But anyway, the good news is we're not in those 90s anymore that we were seeing down in South Florida. They'll come back, but they at least never got up to 100. I don't think they did. It's kind of normal again. If there is ever, are we normal? I'm never normal. So it's still 91 in Clearwater, 90, but not 98 like we saw. So there's your current coastal temps across the region here. 89, 90, still hot, 88. I mean, but not like we did see. So that's good news. 91 in Clearwater Beach though. Panama finally warmed up, man. It was freezing up here. It was 78. Now it's 83. God, that water was freezing. It was like 76 the other day. Heat index today, though, is through the roof. What is NWC? National Weather, NHC is National Hurricane Center, Brit. Oh, NWC, probably NHC. Anyway, let's slow down a little bit. What y'all are talking about? So, thank you, Mr. Eric. Appreciate all your years of support, man. Katie Haley, what's up? Still loving your neck of the woods. We had a Shelly. They just they hid our chat box. Why would they do that? Anyway, I'm reading back our comments. We had spam. Imagine that. Has Jennifer, I do talk to Jennifer's asking, does the softball world? Yeah, I do talk weather with all the softball people all the time. So yeah, there's that. Nothing else we can really ramble on about. Oh man, my arms numb. Oh, we went to a place called Salty Sue's. It was really good up here. Locals told us about it. Loved it. Salty Susan's or Salty Sue's. That was really good. Cooked hamburgers last night. It was fun. Not sure today. We'll see if we win. We might do one of those escape rooms tomorrow. Never done one. What's up, Nancy from Miami? Miami's under a excessive. What do they call it officially? It's a warning. And I know it's summer, but it's still newsworthy to me because it's not normal to be on 110 degrees heat index. So excessive heat today. So Naples, I'm talking like a 115, 120, 112 heat index around Naples, Miami. It's hot. Yeah, I know it's hot. It's hot. Hot. I mean, look at out west. It's really hot. Still got rain up north. That's another story for Vermont, upstate New York. They've been dealing with a lot of rain up there. Storms today, though. We do got a line of storms passing through southeast towards the northeast coast here. Here's the latest look for today. So there you go. We got kind of a low pressure system parked up there. Storms are going to be coming west to east, pop-ups, nothing, nothing, no like real system other than just pop-up storms again. We've been seeing this constant flow from the, what is that, west-northwest towards the east-southeast, kind of a, same pattern of storms. Kentucky got a lot of rain a couple of days ago. There's more storms to the northeast. Not sure about tornadoes chances though. I think it's mainly just straight line winds today. We do have a 2%, so that's interesting. Could be some isolated tornado possibilities in the northeast. Mainly wind across the south. Tomorrow, just normal storms across the north, kind of back to normal a little bit. High pressure is still ruling things. I don't know if that high pressure is going to get out. Here's another outlook map. Oh, look at a little less heat. Hazardous heat. Oh, heavy rain, 7:23 on Sunday. What's today? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So look at rains return back to the north here across the upper Gulf Coast. Hazardous heat for Florida, July 23rd through the 26th. But look at that. Things are kind of back to normal for everybody else. This is a long range map that looks ahead. Long range. And if you really want to get tricky, underneath this one, I have an 8 to 14 day outlook link that goes to NOAA, and it really gets some pretty interesting stuff to look at. This is a heat map that shows basically the whole country from sea to shining sea under heat risks. And this is long range. This is like actually this is blah, 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 8 to 14 day map. So basically looking at almost a week plus. This isn't looking at the next week. It's looking at the week after next week. It's going into August. Well, there it is right there. 728 to 803. Excessive heat. Look, South's a little better. So. But yeah, all right. So there's really nobody that knows anything about our Invest 95 except a couple reliable models are showing development as it nears the Caribbean early next week. Where it goes after that, you know, who knows? We look a lot at ensembles. I think the Euro ensembles are probably your best, and you can look at them here on Tropical Tidbits. So go to ensemble up top, hit EPS, that's for Euro. Go down here to lower dynamic ensemble member MSLP. Let's change our region to the Caribbean, or Western Atlantic mainly. And then you'll see, go to 00Z. It's a lot to remember. And we're going to see all the individual Euro runs. And you can see them starting to near the Lesser Antilles next Monday. This is basically early Tuesday, late Monday night. So there you go. This is, you know, all your different models of the Euro. And, you know, the majority of them by next Friday are either A down here, a couple of them going north, but majority of them are west. And we're starting to see that second system come into play behind it. This right here. So next week at this time, there's Invest 95, maybe Emily. My daughter is going to be named Emily. Look at this high pressure ridge. That high pressure anomaly ridge is showing really no way this thing's going to go to the East Coast. So there's that. And here's our second system starting to develop after Invest 95. And you can see that it's already shown up quite a bit of modeling. So yeah, a couple things to watch next until November. Gumbo. I did have gumbo. I had gumbo. Did you guys? Did somebody talk about gumbo? I did have gumbo there. I love gumbo. What's up, Jonathan from Miami? Stay cool today, buddy. Somebody did I talk about the Wave of Africa for the last hour? You gotta watch it. What's up, Lord Andrew? How's it going? Nancy Powers, good morning. Nashville girl. I'll trade places and go to Nashville with you. Hey, we went to Tootsie's. That's a lot of fun. Christina, Caribbean, definitely need to watch our system. You're going to Puerto Rico on Sunday. Guess what? This thing could be inching in on you early next week. Puerto Rico would be more like Wednesday, Thursday next week, maybe, if it's going to near Puerto Rico. Oh, anyway, that's about it. 19 car, Mr. Ben Newberry. Yep, Truex. I didn't get to watch any of that. But anyway. Patches, Mark Sal. Where's the patches? Where do I get some patches at? Yeah, Mark Hall, the Rays. I forgot I had coffee over here. Now it's cold. Darn it. Tell you how screwed up I am. All of us are probably the same way. Love hot coffee, right? Drink hot coffee. I love it. Once that hot coffee turns room temperature, I think it's yucky. But then I go to the store and buy iced coffee, and I think it's good. So, hot coffee, good. Iced coffee, good. Room temperature coffee, not good. That makes no sense. It's still coffee. How could temperature change the fact that it's just coffee? Anyway, all right. Well, think of us today. Wish us luck. Girls had to win 4 games today. They had a great nail biter yesterday. We were down 2-0. Came back and won 3-2. Now it was against the number 2 seed, so hopefully that was our toughest competition for a while. Ed, no, Turks and Caicos definitely need to be watching. I mean, you're on the south side of this. Obviously, the north side gets more of the stronger winds and stuff, especially with those strong trade winds. But so far, it looks like this is going to pass to your north down there. So, anyway, if you haven't heard, you want to Google it, Weather Channel. I didn't share it, but Weather Channel came out with an updated hurricane forecast, and they went really aggressive, like bigger than Colorado State University. So, take it for what it's worth. Everybody's predicting above average season, way above average season. Remember, July is typically slow. Don't get caught up in thinking things are slow right now, because it's only July, and we need these water temperatures to catch up. And I think they might. I don't know. I don't think they can stay hot forever, but as a matter of fact, you can kind of see it here. I mean, not hotter. The hotter than normal. That's what I'm saying. But your weekly anomaly is still pretty dang hot. That's way above normal. Not way, but above normal. So we'll see if they catch back up. I don't know. Definitely got warm waters in the Pacific for El Nino. Oh, well, that's about it. We talked about the weather today. Isolated storms today rolling across. They're already starting right here. Look, you can see that line. So all these storms today are going to be brewing out of the west-northwest coming across. You can see that on the Storm Prediction Center site. Let's look at some future radar for today. Let's look at the next 48 hours. And I still haven't got caught up on Central Time Zone yet. My computer has not updated its time, so it says 10:07 right now. I guess it's 10:07 home time, but it's only 9:07 here. I hate time change, man. I just can't. It takes me forever to figure out what time it is. I'll lay in bed during clocks forward, clocks back, and I swear I lay there for an hour trying to figure out in my head what time it really is. Is it 7:30? Or is it 8:30? Or is it 9:30? I don't know. Sometimes the phone doesn't even update, so then you don't know who to believe. Then I lost my watch. I still don't have a watch yet. All right, here's storms today. You can see a big old pile of storms forming. And you can see all this stuff just kind of move southeast. You gotta say it right. East, southeast. And we're going to get any popcorn storms anywhere else. Let's see. This is throughout the day today. Let me rewind. This is today. You can see the storms just kind of brewing. There could be good storms today. Look at that. This is tomorrow morning. We could have some storms going through South Carolina tomorrow, down to Georgia. This is tomorrow morning, Saturday. Look at that. That's interesting. Holy moly. All right, there's all kinds of stuff happening here. All right, so let's see. Here's tomorrow morning. Look at this. We got another line. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here's Sunday. Look at that. We saw that excessive rain on the long-range map here for Sunday. There's this is actually overnight Saturday into Sunday. So we could see some storms across the upper Gulf here late Saturday night into Sunday morning. That's definitely showing up on a few maps. And then a little squall line setting up down here. So there you go. So rains today coming through this right there. When we get to overnight hours, we could still have some energy popping. This could be overnight storms into tomorrow morning right here, Saturday morning. That means if you go to Dunkin', turn off your windshield wipers so you don't splash the poor person's face. I've done that before. All right, and then not a lot of stuff down in Florida today. Dry pattern remains. A little bit middle part of the state, a little bit down there in the south. Normal stuff. High pressure ruling things again. Let's look at long range surface charts, and here is Monday, high pressure, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wait, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right, well, so, we start looking at things like this. All right, let's say there is something down here brewing in the tropics. Well, pretty strong high pressure is kind of still showing here, so that would mean it would have a hard time turning if we had a high building in from the Atlantic. There's been a lot of models focusing on this west trend, even up a little bit. So, stronger a system is, the more it tends to want to go north a little bit. GFS has been all over the place, as it normally does. But the general thinking is, with the GFS, makes sense here. I mean, that's just one model of many, but you can see, that would be big news right there. But then if you look at the next run of the GFS, the 6Z that just came out, and it probably showed nothing. It did. So I mean, yeah, GFS is terrible. Just be careful. My honest opinion. Don't look at a GFS model and get too overly concerned, because one run it had a hurricane going into upper Gulf, the next run absolutely fizzled it into nothing. So that's been a trend of the GFS. Absolutely no consistency whatsoever with the models, and that's just the way it goes. So all right. So, all right. My truck, yep, it's running good. Good to see you back, Lambs, I guess. Haven't been keeping up. But yeah, the truck's back. I got a brand new old engine. Ready for my 9th storm. The old truck's been in 8 storms. 3 major hurricanes my truck has been in. The eye. Ian, Ida, and Zeta. I believe Zeta was the major hurricane up there. So, all right, cool. Well, there you go. That's what's cooking. Nothing to worry about. Nothing's official. Just keep an eye on things. My personal opinion is definitely some development as this thing enters the Caribbean. If that high pressure remains, it probably will keep going west. However, if it gets stronger, we could see a thing turn towards the end of next week. It'd be something to watch. Remember, the hot waters are extremely hot down there. Models have a hard time sometimes really doing a good job with common sense forecasting, So, I always keep an eye on these forecasts. Intensity guidance. Like I said, a lot of folks use them. Sometimes they're wrong more than right, but we'll see. So, all right, there you go. Then we got Don going away. Calvin is gone in the Pacific. Gave a little bit of weather to Hawaii. And there you go. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. Thanks to all our supporters. Don't forget, locally, my good friends at Done Right Roofing. They live right there by my hometown. They do a lot of stuff locally and have a great company. Pinellas County, Hillsborough County, Pasco County. So check them out if you need anything at all. They have really good blogs on hurricane prep and lightning and metal roofs and solar roofs and all that good stuff. So appreciate all they do for my local area. And if you're out and about, it's Friday night. Hit your local ABC. If you live in Oldsmar area, make sure you check out the Brick Oven at TBBC. It's my favorite restaurant, our family's favorite. They got the best calzones on the planet. If you love Italian food, Tampa Bay Brewing Company has the best brick oven ever. Calzones are like, oh my God, I can't even describe how good the calzones are. Oh, they come out, they're like huge. Like, oh my God. I wish I was there. Drinking a reef and having a big old pepperoni. So I put pepperoni, bacon, and jalapenos. And I used to put feta cheese in there. I forgot about that. I got to start putting feta cheese in there. I love feta cheese. Feta cheese. So, anyway. Thanks, James. Hey, Stephanie. Yeah, we're, I don't know how the girls are going to do it. I don't know. 4 games and 110 plus heat index. I just hope that we play out-of-state teams and they're not used to this heat. We gotta have some hometown advantage somehow, right? All right, we'll be back live Monday. Make sure you follow me on TikTok. I've been doing these updates on TikTok. That's actually my second biggest platform right now. I can't believe it. Over 131,000 now. I do these little quickie 1 to 2 minute videos on there. I tried the dancing and I tried the being stupid. Nobody liked it. So I'm just, TikTok is weather. Maybe a random dance now and then, but I do try to do a quick update on there. Thanks, Shelly Rosh. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's about it. All right, so we'll be back live Monday. Time for coffee. I got to warm up my coffee. No lukewarm coffee for me. See y'all.